Meanwhile, at the Hall of Cage.
Well, I'm one of those fortunate people who like my job, sir. Got my first chemistry set when I was 7, blew my eyebrows off. We never saw the cat again. Been into it ever since.
I did a bare 360 triple backflip in front of 22,000 people. It's kind of funny. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Oh my God, a gun!
Somehow they managed to get every creeping freak in the universe in this one plane.
Coffee and a muffin. Okay, so I need to establish themes. Maybe banana nut. That's a good muffin.
So just quiet down, my little one, and call me Dad.
We get some balloons and go to the puppet show.
Sorry, boss, but there's only 2 men I trust. One of them's me, and the other's not you.
I mean, it is a pretty stat.
Well, close to 4. I think Arrow Video is like what? Yeah, it's like $30-$40 for. It's like the sleazier Criterion, I guess. I don't know.
Oh wait, is that the ones that are in Barnes & Noble right now?
Yeah.
Like the crazy covers, because I saw the Gamera one and I was like,
oh yeah,
ooh, giant turtle that. All the kids
they had
love.
I know they have the Showa collection of Gamera.
Yeah.
Joe got me the Millennium trilogy.
Nice. When are they going to bring Gamera back?
Good question. Hey, they got Shin Kamen Rider, Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman.
And we're getting a theme park.
Yeah, Gamera is giving a theme park.
Holy shit balls.
And it's like Ava and all the Shin properties. And it's just going to be all about depression and Anno and trying to understand him.
It's like I need a massively popular media franchise to work out all my trauma.
Yes, that's because that's what that guy does.
I mean, that's kind of what the movie tonight was, wasn't it?
Lord.
The movie that we watched here on Caging Greatness. Yay! Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
The button was pushed. Y'all knew it, and it is so.
Wow.
That's right. It is so. It's one of our famous cold opens.
The frostiest opens you'll ever hear.
We hear that our FBI agent in D.C. and the fine folks of Tappahannock, Virginia really enjoy them.
You need to watch out, Pat, because we aren't the ones with the Wendy's endorsement.
Or Arby's, or McDonald's,
or Burger King,
or
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell,
or fucking
how many?
The inventor of corn dogs.
See, this is why I think that I was like, this is totally like, this movie is just like an American, like this is what the American dream is now. Thing.
Hell yeah, I want a corn dog. And we would love endorsements from any of these companies. In fact, we'd love an endorsement from just about any company except Manscaped.
Yeah, so, it's always a great idea that even if we don't get endorsement, we don't shit talk them on air, and we don't want anyone else to find out that we do it because we still want their money.
Right.
So I need to hold all of my criticisms about endorsements with like Arby's and Subway.
Yes, we love the delicious I'm thinking Arby's.
Well,
and
you
Subway,
would want McDonald's.
I love to eat fresh.
Well, don't you'd want McDonald's so you could keep the McRib in stock.
There's no amount of power I could get outside of that company to make that happen.
World peace.
One day.
Right in the grip of your hand.
World peace and the McRib on the menu all the time.
One day, I'm going to be powerful enough to make that shit happen.
It's like, Sam, we're sorry, we can't give you world domination or a McRib, but we can give you a 6-month supply of horsey sauce.
I don't want any of that. I just want the McRib.
The only thing I get from McDonald's nowadays is I will like if I go to one chicken place, I'll stop at McDonald's just so I can get the hot mustard sauce.
Look, if I have to join Scientology and work my way up to Tom Cruise levels to make this happen, by God, I will do it. I'm sorry, by Xenu, I will do it.
But how many fish are you willing to fuck?
You know, how many do I need to get the McRib?
In the mouth.
How many are in the sea and how many are unmasked?
I'm just assuming.
You know what? If Aquaman can do it, so can I.
What if you're just like Ed Harris in The Abyss?
Anyway, welcome everyone to Caging Greatness, the show where we discuss the films of Nicolas Cage. 51.3% of the time. We have gone up a bit.
I'm ready to call me when we hit that new 52. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry, it's going to go down soon enough.
No, I think we're doing pretty good.
Actually, you know, the next 2 episodes are Cage related. So, like that I know of. I don't remember what comes after the next 2. I'm sure it's something fun.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Cage adjacent.
Just wait to wait.
Look,
he can't keep a pocketbook or a schedule.
I barely know what day it is now, okay?
Welcome to Glur's Day.
It's Monday. It's jalapeno popper burger day. Okay.
I thought it was Blue Day.
I should
No,
get a jalapeno
wait, is it Blue
popper.
Day?
I'm
I don't
kind
know.
of hungry now.
Do you like jalapenos though?
No, but I'll eat them on a good burger
That's fair.
or a good burger. Home of the good burger.
Definitely not a Mondo burger. That shit's like a weak investment.
Yeah, Mondo burger was just not good.
Yeah.
Was
Nothing
that
about that
slimy?
looked appealing.
No.
To be honest.
So I am I'm a host, Captain Shimmy. I'm joined by the other hosts. To my right is JoJo.
Yo.
To JoJo's right is Cannon.
I'm here and I'm Gears of War.
2 spaces to the right of Cannon is Pat.
Hello there. It is Pat.
And then to Pat's left, we have a special guest. Please welcome our friend Jeremy to the show.
I was just on my way to get milk, and someone made me an offer.
Well,
of,
you know what? You should have gotten milk sooner if you didn't want to be snatched off the street
Well, you
in a
obviously,
van.
you obviously couldn't refuse it because you're here.
Yeah, well, there was a sign in the front yard that said Nicolas Cage and free food, and I can't pass up the free food.
And then we berated you for not getting the tartar sauce, and you still didn't get it.
Yeah, you
but-
should have gotten the tartar sauce.
You know
said
what,
they were
Jeremy?
out
You are
of
failing
line.
this family for not getting that tartar sauce.
Guess I'll go predict the weather then. I can't, though, because, wind,
Hey, weather is more of an art than a science.
clearly, and I have an art degree.
Hey, you're halfway there.
Exactly.
So, in case you couldn't tell, tonight we watched The Weatherman, a Gore Verbinski classic
He was on an off day.
starring Nicolas Cage, obviously. Among several, Michael Caine is in it. He's there.
Yeah.
And
Is he there?
I don't know if he was.
He doesn't seem like he's on the same level of existence as any of the other characters
His
in the movie.
accent kept coming in and out.
I will say, every time I see a Michael Caine performance that's less enthused than some of his others, my first thought is always the quote that he said when someone asked him about Jaws 4: The Revenge. Someone asked him, like, "Oh, Jaws 4 is terrible, right? Have you seen Jaws 4?" And he goes, "I've never seen the movie. By all accounts, it was terrible. But I've seen the house it bought, and that's lovely." So,
I mean, we all got to eat.
Yeah, that man needed a paycheck, clearly.
I also like how he said once how he decides to be in a movie. He looks at the first page of the script and the last page of the script, and if he's on both pages, then he's in the movie.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, that was very fair, very fair.
Fucking chunky screen time.
On a similar note, I love how Ron Perlman was asked a similar question. You're not in a lot of movies that aren't super great. It's like, what can I say? My wife likes shoes.
I love that, man.
Shoes are
Man,
expensive.
it's amazing. Apparently, his wife has a massive shoe collection then.
So
Get an insider on that?
we're gonna do the thing we normally do. That thing we do.
Where's Tom Hanks?
I'm going to try to remember to do that every time now.
Okay, it's a fun bit. We're gonna go around and we're gonna give our scores, brief review of the film, what we thought of it, and then we're gonna just talk about it for as long as we possibly can. And I think we might have some decent amounts to say.
I do feel like we'll have more to say than we did Guardian Test. Not to disparage Guardian Test.
I enjoyed Guarding Test thoroughly.
But this is definitely a very different type of movie. And for reference, Jeremy, we'll be giving our succinct thoughts and then our reviews out of 5 stars.
On Letterboxd, which I have gotten him hooked on.
Yep. I mean,
I did
Letterboxd
review 1,500 movies in like the span of 3 days.
You got a lot of free time at work, I see.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. If people at my work are listening to this, please, I do work very hard.
Damn.
Raise me.
So, JoJo, what'd you think?
This is a movie of two tones. One is a pretty compelling, fairly well written character study, I guess, of this guy. I mean, it's basically partially like Taxi Driver and Falling Down and all those like white dudes who have a bad day movies, but it doesn't go the way those normally do. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm enjoying these parts of the movie. And then other parts I could best describe as flippant irony. And it completely just derails any sort of momentum the movie had. It just was like, we're just going to do this extended camel toe bit. And
I'm glad somebody said it before me. because I'm not going to sleep tonight.
And this movie does tackle a lot of very dark themes, and I think that ironic tone really undercuts a lot of the seriousness of stuff that happens. It's I don't know what I'm giving it. It's like it's not like objectively terrible. Like, I mean, you can tell. Yeah, this is like, when did this come out? Like 05?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah, this is most like 2005 movie, and I feel like this is like in the last years of where you could make this movie. But I guess right now I'm sitting at a 2.
And 2 and a shrug.
2 and a shrug.
Two
I
and a
don't know.
shrug. Cannon, how
Yes,
about
sir.
you?
First time viewing of this film. In fact, who's all seen this film? Anyone? Really?
Well, weirdly, according to my letterboxd I don't remember rating this movie, but no, this was my first time.
yeah.
You got a little overzealous with those Cage movies. Like, yeah,
Just
that was like a
throwing
3.
stars left and right, like a
There's
ninja.
fucking cages in there. Boom! No, I'm kidding. Okay, so this movie.
That's as succinct a review as any.
Well, the reason I'm laughing is I may just have to wait and give my thoughts when we actually talk about it, because God damn it, I love this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I did. I fucking had a ball. They could have gone a little bit without the extended camel toe. They did go a little long in the camel tooth with that. However,
It went a little hard in pain on that.
However, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm giving it 4.5. That is how I am feeling right now.
Hey, feeling
Alright.
pretty spunky.
All right. So over to the other regular. Pat, what did you think?
Like Joe, I feel really conflicted about the movie. Like, obviously, it's a technically extremely proficient movie. It looks gorgeous, like incredible shots and amazing cinematography. Just like it, I love how this movie looks, and it's very well done. It's just a weird, incongruent tones. Like, I couldn't. It feels like oil and water, because seeing this like this weird like cosmic comedy of like Nicolas Cage is having the most awkward, painfully uncomfortable journey over this almost 2 hours. It's like, I can gel with that, but there's like these other subplots that just feel, why was this here? And it feels really like not handled with like this kind of gravity that you would think these subjects would have. One subplot in particular, the camel toe bit, just like I don't know. It's there.
I'm still
there.
I'm still baffled by it. Like as far as just like my, I guess the intensity of my feelings about it, it's fairly neutral, but I'm just like, what?
I feel like I could like one joke, fine, do that joke, but then like that's such a recurring element. It feels so weird. Anyhow, I guess for right now it's a 3. It's a 3.
okay.
Like, there's a lot I really enjoy, and a lot I'm just really weird on. But I'll say 3 for now.
Okay. Jeremy, brief thoughts, star review, then we get into the meat of it after I give my star review.
Brief thoughts. Good Lord.
Brief. Just overview for now.
Yeah,
So the meat of the show is us going, what the fuck?
Like, you know, I think I can agree. Like, it was shot really well. Like, there was some opening shots that was just like, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of like a artsy kind of film with some like great cinematography work with what the fuck was that dialogue right there? It's like you're going down the road expecting like a nice ride, and then occasionally it just swerves hard into that junkyard full of like rabid dogs that somehow can also talk. But I think for the most part, I enjoyed it. It's definitely not something y'all think you would see on like, you would turn the TV on and be like, oh, hey, look, it's the TNT afternoon movie. No. I think I'm going to lean more on the side of like a 3.5. Can I get like 3.75? I'm
You go
almost
by letterbox scores. They don't allow you.
So
to
that
do-
would round up to a 4? Or
yeah, I'm between a 3.5 and a 4 right now because it's like part of me's like, yeah, that was middle of the roadish kind of good. To I feel like I want to show this to someone just so I can watch their response to it.
I'm just saying, if you wanted a 3.75, you need to petition Letterbox to change their reviews.
I will make that happen.
And see, this sort of thing wouldn't happen if we were on a 10-star rating system.
we don't have
That's all
time
I'm
for
saying.
that, Shim. But just go ahead and give us your review.
We got all the time in the world.
I don't
can do,
know.
like, quantum.
So I'm saying it's like
I'm at the overrule with
0.5, 1. It's the same as saying 1, 2. That you can do that.
I mean, what was it? They used to use thumbs up and thumbs down for a long
it's
time.
the way they do it. It's pretty much the same thing.
I mean, I'm glad we got 0.5s because I don't like fucking Goodreads. It's just solid stars. I'm like, I need more than that.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, Goodreads is a little wonky.
Goodreads is wonky. It is.
But Shim,
Right. So this movie tackles a lot of really deep and
Difficult.
serious and unpleasant subjects, and then it just out of nowhere hits you with complete absurdity.
Yeah, it's the surreal kind of hard.
It's so like for example, there's a scene where Nicolas Cage is drunk and sad, and then all of a sudden an imaginary SpongeBob float just floats by his window.
That SpongeBob is still terrorizing that town.
That's great. So, I enjoyed. I really fucking liked this movie. I really did because it feels to me like life. Like there's deep and angry and sad and depressing and horrible things counterbalanced by ridiculous insanity and absurdity and part of what's important about navigating life is finding the balance in that. And it was really interesting and weirdly inspiring to see Nicolas Cage go from super duper depressed, angry fuck up to, you know what? Things are weird, but I'm going to roll with it. I really liked that. I appreciated it and I identify with it. 4.5 stars. I liked this movie a lot.
He also took lots of good shots from food.
Yeah, no, he got hit with a lot of food.
Like
People hate the weatherman in this town. Like
Just in Chicago.
hardcore. Just in Chicago.
Like he gets to New York and everything's completely different.
Which is weird because I would expect it to be just as bad, if not worse, in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because I'm still kind of processing the movie.
I think a lot of our ratings are going to change before this is over.
Oh, mine's going to be right where it is.
Yeah, but going to the dialogue, which was, I think Jeremy mentioned it before, like it's one of those things where this movie in a lot of ways is hyper realistic, where like things are like in real life are that painfully awkward, and it's like the episode of The Office Scott's Tots, and everyone just everyone's cringing into their own
I was gonna say, I think at
Oh,
one point,
this movie definitely has those moments.
I mean, JoJo full on turtled at one point.
what was it? Yeah, at one point when we were watching, I said, "Hello, r/cringe."
I was expecting at least two of us to just all of a sudden roll up into a vortex-like ball and just pop out of existence from cringing so hard.
And like, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I can appreciate it being this just like well written that it's able to capture like real life conversation that well, but also at the same time it's still just like
Like him throwing the snowball at his ex-wife.
yeah, like that whole situation, and
That was hilarious.
Because there's a lot.
She turned into it.
Yeah, clearly. Like there's a lot that feels like kind of Office, like or shows of that ilk, where it's like just cringe comedy, where the whole point is to do the most like socially stupid thing, and it just like each situation gets compounds upon itself, and in a deliberate fashion, it does that very well because I feel like my butthole could just make a diamond after a certain point.
Because the thing is no matter what any like criticism I throw at this movie, it's effective in what it does.
Yeah, it makes you feel things.
Yeah.
Plural.
Now, I think it's the first time in a long time I actually like typed my review in Letterboxd during the podcast. 4.5 stars. This is my Uncut Gems.
I mean, there are a lot of similarities. Like, this is definitely a little more low key.
Yeah, those stakes.
Like if Uncut Gems is methamphetamine,
Yeah.
this is indica.
Like, you know what? I'm having a good time, but I'm also a little sleepy.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of my review.
There was like,
It's kind of good, but I'm a little sleepy.
No fucking way. Check this shit.
Oh, I haven't put it in
okay,
yet.
never mind.
I think I'm just still gonna stick with the idea of driving down the road and then swerving through, like, not even a junkyard at this point. It's like swerving through a busted out Kmart.
Because a lot of the movie does kind of feel like a liminal space where it's just like this weird fluorescent mausoleum.
It's blue. The movie's super blue.
It's not the bluest movie I've ever seen.
No, we watched that movie earlier in the year.
But like, no, there was like a lot of like, it was like grayish hues and like blues throughout the entire movie that just kind of makes you feel docile.
It was of the era of a lot of like muted colors and shit.
Yeah.
Well, slowly getting out of that era, I suppose. Maybe.
Yeah, like I feel like this is like the last like few years before you could make this type of movie again.
Yeah,
And even just speaking to the cinematography, like, because I feel like, you know, the Matrix, everything after that, everything was just kind of this like putrid green.
Oh, yeah.
But then it kind of evolved into blue, like with, you know, cinematic classics like Underworld.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like, there's parts where the movie's got a lot of.
Excuse me, what about Swin?
I just realized what you were talking about. That's why I was pointing at you.
Well, there was there's a parts where it's got color, but that it's more like when he's like dreaming or like.
Well, to be fair, this movie is set in the midwinter of Chicago. I'm not expecting bright greens and oranges.
Oh yeah, and I'm not like complaining. I'm just sort of like pointing it out.
I mean, that makes the sort of the monocolor theory for the movie like more naturalistic, but like it's still a very blue movie and not to its detriment.
Except for like a few scenes where it is very like yellow and gold and bright, and it's usually it's the scenes where his life is kind of coming back more on track.
All I know is I'm moving to Chicago, and if they're still offering like at least $250,000 for a weatherman position, sign me the fuck up. That's all I'm saying.
The fucker literally said, "I don't have a weather degree. I was just communicating." Like
He's got a communications degree.
I mean, like, bitch, if you fake it till you make it, fucking succeeded at this point.
I feel bad for the guy that he was talking to about the weather. He was like, just make it better. And like, bruh, it's the weather.
Like moved on up. Well, never mind. That's like
That's
at the end of the movie.
guy. That guy that he was talking to, that's the guy that becomes Weather Wizard.
Also, we mentioned it earlier, that scene where he gets drunk. That motherfucker got drunk off of one mini bar bottle.
I'm pretty sure I saw like three empty bottles.
There was
there
more.
was a whole empty-
I only saw. I don't know why. I
He
didn't
emptied
notice
out that whole
anymore.
mini bar while his daughter was sleeping right behind him.
Slam.
Yeah, see that one miniature bottle was like 900% alcohol by volume.
It's just absinthe.
It was like the Constantine effect. It was actually like a fucking handle. And he just
Galactic Gargle Blaster?
but the bottom of the bottle just like in another dimension.
It's like a bag of holding, but for bottles of alcohol.
Infinite Jack.
Yes.
Infinite Jack.
Sign me up.
Man, this dude is just not having the best time at just life.
I'd have a bad
At
time too
all.
if someone threw a big gulp at me.
Hell
I'd be
yeah,
more mad because
I'm sorry. I'm pissed when somebody throws a Frosty at me.
Yeah, no, that's
it's
not-
a fucking Frosty.
how much was
full
a big
drink.
gulp?
You better
back
hope I don't
then?
catch you.
And then the pie that burned his jacket.
Yeah, that was
Now,
A nice coat. God,
Props
damn.
on him for catching up to that man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
That's
smushing
some
it in his
cardio
face.
right
Yeah.
there.
I would have done the same fucking thing. I would have
Because-
lobbed it at him. Hey, man. And
Because like I kept expecting the movie to turn into Falling Down because like his life is just like this cosmic sad sackery where just like everything bad happens in the worst possible way. He's just this awkward little nut and it's just so weird and bizarre.
And then he takes up archery.
And it's like he's going to go on a killing spree. He's going to be
Well,
Hawkeye and Joker did the fusion dance.
He almost took out the stepdad, and then the stepdad decided to pull the bitch move and go hide behind his dad, who was dying of cancer. Like, yeah, bitch, you gonna shoot me now?
Well, to be fair, I think he like walked up to his fiance, his ex-wife.
So he walked up to the whole family.
I mean, all of them turned around. It was fucking awkward, bud.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just don't point the arrow at him. Just keep shooting at the tree like you were doing.
Yeah, you would have been fine.
Pretend like his face is on the tree and shoot the tree.
I still think it would have been funny if he had like shot and then just taken the cigarette out of his mouth, and then just
that would have been sick.
Just looked at him and been like, "Sup."
I almost thought that was going to be the possibility.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a very tense scene. Very tense.
Like he's just like it's like daydreaming, and he's just like, and it takes it out, and then he like just fucking Moon Knight's back, and he's like, "Fuck, I killed him."
Well,
Shot him right in the noggin.
For some reason, that the stepdad's face would just turn into SpongeBob's face. Like that would be somehow a more reoccurring.
I'd shoot SpongeBob in the face. Fucking come at me, nerds.
Well, hey, that's the wellspring of all memes, Mr. Man.
I mean, I appreciate the memes. I mean, he's a sponge. It's not going to hurt him.
What if he had gotten drunk and then all of a sudden the stepdad's face goes across his hotel window, just huge and giant like SpongeBob?
We're like nearing like Terry Gilliam's territory at that point.
That would be fun.
Also, Michael Caine is a fucking alien in this movie.
Yes.
He is like a fucking like. He's supposed to be like this National Book Award winning, like Pulitzer Prize winning author, but has the least amount of curiosity and is just the most literal minded fuck I have ever
And like it's
seen.
just completely flummoxed by small everyday things. Like, what is a big gulp? Like, does he just live in a fucking box?
Honestly, I've seen legitimately autistic characters in movies have fewer of those types of qualities than Michael Caine did in this.
That was where I was at first, and then I got I'm like where you're at, where it's like, this isn't like an autistic kind of thing. It's like, sir, have you been living in a bunker?
This is Michael Caine being weird.
I was about to say, like, he picked up that big gulp cup. He didn't even say what it was. He just like looked at his son and was just like, "What is this?" And that was when I said out loud, I was like, "You're an author. It says what it fucking is on the cup. Like, why are you asking questions?"
in like big bold letters, it says big gulp.
It's a big gulp. It's a big cup. Also, I'm sorry, Michael Caine and whatever accent that was in this movie, it fucked me up, man. Well, I did not like it. I was just like, what are you trying to do? I'd rather listen to you in Secondhand Lions than to hear him talk in this movie.
I do love that movie, though.
It's a good movie.
Too, man.
I feel like Michael Caine's accent kind of came on and off. Sometimes I would hear it and I was like,
It sounded like he was trying
There's
really,
his
really
British
hard for it
accent.
to not come out. And it was just like, hey, what is a big gulp?
It was very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there were sometimes he was just straight up Michael Caine, and then other times it'd be like a somewhat of an American accent, just like vaguely American.
He is a real American. He fought for the
I would
rights
say,
of every man.
Issues like this and Keanu in Dracula could have been easily solved by like half a line of dialogue. Just like, hey, guess what? Michael Caine is English, but he moved to America, and that raised Nick Cage was born here. Problem solved. He can just sound like he always sounds. He doesn't have to do whatever attempt at a Midwestern non-regional accent that is.
And plus, it's Michael Caine. Like, no one expects him to be anything other than British.
Yeah. Like when he wasn't British in this, I was confused.
It's damn near as jarring as when Benedict Cumberbatch's first lines as Doctor Strange.
that's fair.
Because you see Cumberbatch and you're like, oh, it's just coming. He's going to be English. What is he doing?
Yeah.
What is that noise coming out of his face? I don't like it.
Also, what is that wig girl? Come on.
Especially in the
plastic.
second one. I was like, oh, man, that's interesting.
It's a little squiffy.
Speaking of wigs, I know we occasionally we like to rank Cage's hair in films. I don't know what the fuck it was, but how is this like the worst hair ever in this movie? At least to me. It looked like one of the worst wigs I've ever seen.
It was the most dad hair.
However, I did look, and this was the same year the fucking Lord of War came out. I'm assuming they may have been shot around and about the same particular time. The length was the same. It's just a little foot back, and it's Lord of War hair. So
Yeah, I feel like it was just his hair come forward.
Yeah,
honestly.
same. But
Same
like
kind of-
but there was something so fucking like weird looking about it
to
to
me-
me. I don't know.
To me, it kind of felt like he was doing cosplay of Jim Carrey from the Truman Show.
Hey, I can see it.
Because, like, I didn't have a problem with his hair. I mean, he definitely had like more egregious hair moments in different points of his career.
Season of the Witch.
Oh no! There's one that's significant.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Somehow this bothered me more than Season of the Witch.
it's just,
Ghost Rider.
no, it's the one. It's the fucking one where he has like a mustache on it. And he's kind of like weird and out of place on the cover of it. Let me fucking find it.
Is it Kick-Ass? No.
Between Worlds.
Y'all talk, man.
Joe?
Left Behind Part 2. That didn't happen.
I would say there's not a part 2.
Oh my God! I saw the Left Behind 3-pack at Second and Charles, like
Yep.
sealed. Mm-hmm. I almost bought it for you. No, I'm kidding. Hey, but if you want it for like a nickel, it's there. It's not really for a nickel, but you know.
It might as well be.
I guess his hair was just like, it looked like it was messed up like 90% of the time, or if that was just a natural. I don't know. It's a 2000s haircut, I guess.
It looked more natural when you see the shots of him on a teleprompter screen than when I saw him in the movie.
Maybe it's kind of like a, what is it? Maybe it's like a network moment where it's like the reality of television versus what's going on behind the scenes.
The camera adds 15 hairs.
Yeah.
For reference, I was talking about Nicolas Cage in the Arsenal movie poster.
Arsenal.
Oh no. Oh no.
Man, I can't wait to watch that piece of shit.
We might have to move that up on the schedule.
That's tomorrow. We're going to have 2 episodes. No.
Who's all in that?
A guy who's not Josh Peck, but kind of looks like him.
Dollar Store Josh Peck.
Yeah, Josh Speck.
We have Josh Peck at home. Yeah.
Adrian Grenier, it looks like.
That sounds familiar.
And John Cusack. And what's
God damn
what's this shit pants filled loser saying somehow this is more of a better piece of cinema than fucking Con Air. Get the shit out of your ass, dude, and out of your head.
Fucking wipe your booty hole. God damn it.
So, Jeremy, in case you didn't know,
Yeah, I'm confused.
John Cusack has talked shit about Con Air before.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
some
that's what we
reason-
said. Like, fuck that guy.
Basically saying
It's Con Air.
Con Air is one of the most embarrassing films he's ever made, and he would very much like not to be reminded of. But the poopy pants thing, because apparently, allegedly, while he's making films in England several years ago, he would like consistently give himself coffee enemas, where he would just like take a funnel, fill it with coffee, pull it up his butt, and then just leave all the dookie that fell out in the shower, to the point where the production team was put behind because they kept having to pay the cleaning crew money under the table to clean up all the doo-doo and not get like biohazard services involved. And then on a separate movie also filmed in England, he was still doing the same exact doo-doo shit, but the thing is, he wouldn't clean the shit out of his ass when he wore his costume pants. So like the production team had to either spend more money to clean the shitty pants or just buy brand new pants altogether because he wouldn't clean his ass.
That was one breath, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm laughing at it again.
I totally forgot that
guy.
allegedly, and we put big quotes on allegedly.
I also appreciate how you said that doo-doo shit.
That doo-doo shit.
Doo-doo dookie butt.
My only response to this is that's some serious shit.
Man.
Like, what? John Cusack?
Wait, no, allegedly. And besides, we all know it takes at least 2 people to induce a coffee in them.
Yeah, does he have a production assistant that follows him around to every movie? Quick, can we look this up? Like, seriously, there's one name that shows up in every John Cusack movie, because if we can find that person,
It's John Cusack.
No, it's Joan Cusack.
John Cusack shows up in every John Cusack.
No, but like, does he have like a production assistant that's just like special assistant to John Cusack?
like all of his fucking movies too. Damn near.
Like, you just find this like person in the film credits, and
Machine
from then
Con
on, you go see a movie and you're just pointing like, there it is.
Well, I mean, what do you think a key grip does?
They gripped the bottle
Coffee
of
enemas.
Starbucks and just squeezed it up his butt.
No, they just send the guy out to go.
Man, you know, my dumbass didn't know what a key grip did until that scene in Tropic Thunder when Tom Cruise was like, "That's a fucking spider on your mic stand." My bad, I didn't mean to slap it, but there was a spider there.
Maybe
it wouldn't be one of our shows.
Like, which one of you is
attacked by a bug?
Hey, it's been a minute though.
Well, we've had ants the last like 7 shows.
Yeah, but those are. I mean, I hate to admit it, but easier to handle than most of the creatures we've had show
fair.
up on the show.
Yeah.
Abaddon, what are you doing?
Abaddon?
What the fuck? What are we paying you for? We don't pay Abaddon. That's what Tony Khan's for. But anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We
Well,
were talking a bunch of random
I'm
shit
glad
at this
you
point.
gave me the John Cusack thing because now I'm going to have something else to dream about tonight instead of a montage of camel toe.
Okay, but
Well, it was camel toe and actual camel's toes.
that was so fucking funny though.
I mean, it's just baffling
It's seared into my mind.
that a plot point in this movie is John Cusack strikes again. No, Nicolas Cage's young teenage daughter, is just like constantly referred to as camel toe because, like, I guess she has a very prominent camel toe.
Preteen daughter. She's got to be like 11.
And like it's just a reoccurring bit because that's what she's called at school. And then there's a point where fucking Michael Caine has to explains what a camel toe is, and then a minute later, just like a rapid fire montage of like these women in like booty shorts with like their fucking vagine just popping through, and just like he explained bold-facedly what it was, and like, also, by the way, if you need a visual instruction,
Like, and I mean, when Pat says Michael Caine explains what a camel toe is, like, the motherfucker just like straight up quotes fucking Urban Dictionary for like 2 minutes.
like knows what.
Just be like, well, a camel toe is when you blah blah, and we're just like, I guess for all the boomers in the back, but I'm still just like,
What if that's what Michael Caine was in this movie?
I mean, he's like full on describes what a fucking camel toe is. He's never heard of a big gulp in his life. Can't even read what a big gulp cup is, and he writes fucking literature. For
He was a
living.
national treasure, though.
Yeah, he is.
hey, that's
International treasure.
and he's like that Bob Seger song, like a rock.
Like a rock.
I
what was it
can't
used to
help.
play before Ford commercials?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I found the exact quote of the camel toe bit.
All right.
It means the crease in her vagina that they can discern through her clothing. That happens. That is what he says. in the movie.
and
Wasn't it like on a street? Like they're out in front of his like house or something?
Yeah, they're talking about this in fucking public on the street.
and like also too, the whole thing feels like this is what my real life Michael Caine like just discovered that on set. And he's just like, Nicolas Cage, do you know what a camel toe is?
You know, he just goes up to Verbinski and goes, do you know what this picture needs? I need to explain what a camel toe is to the audience.
Oh my god.
And it's weird because the whole thing is about, this whole bit centers around like an 11-year-old girl, and it's really uncomfortable. Like,
However, it does end really, really sweetly, though.
yeah, like when he's buying her clothes. Yeah, I will say that.
Because there's the whole, like, he asks, like, hey, you kids ever bully? Do they call you names? Like what? Like dummy or camel toe? Go straight to camel toe.
Yeah. It's like you got to stagger that shit. You can't just be like
Option 2.
option 2.
He didn't even air that out.
But she's like, yeah, they do. Because I'm tough. Because camels walk on the sand and they're tough. So I'm tough. And he's like, you know what? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, she owns it. I mean,
fucking.
And then he buys her lots of pretty dresses.
yeah, lots more, much flattering clothes.
And she seemed to enjoy it.
Which, you know, I'm glad they had a little daughter daddy moment, which is like, it was really nice. And in a movie that's just filled with a lot of strange choices, that was a nice choice. If only he wasn't predicated with this fucking 90-minute camel toe.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like I don't know. Like it's not like a big deal. To me, it's just kind of weird. But like, I don't know. I do like sort of how the movie does wrap up towards the end, where it's like it's a bittersweet, not like a saccharine happy ending, but you know, everything is kind of in the process of working itself out.
Yeah, like it doesn't end with everything good. It ends with everything good enough.
Like,
And that's-
Or
better.
Or better.
yeah, and that feels a lot more like real life. To most of this felt like real life, and that's because like shit like that. How like people talk about that shit all like, yeah, they're calling my kid Camel Toe. Like that's, you know, that's happened at least once in the past fucking week to somebody in this country.
And I'm sure there's plenty of 11-year-olds who are taking their dad's money and buying a pack of smokes.
That's what I was about to say.
So many.
You look at where she started out at the beginning of the movie. Where it was just like, "Nah, Dad, just drop me off here. I'll walk home. Hey, can I have some money?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she goes in and she doesn't buy just like any cigarettes. She's like the 100. Like she went for the
Unfiltered,
strong
please.
shit. And then like,
Turns out she's actually 27.
yeah, no, I referred to her as like this like 11, 12-year-old girl is literally just like a 40-something like living in this kid's body. She's seen some because there was the scene where she's like sitting with her friend smoking cigarettes. She's like, so-and-so's a bitch. And then like hands a cigarette to the other girl. She's like, yeah, she is.
Man, the only thing that would have made that bit of her buying those cigarettes better if it was the guy that played Randall from Clerks selling them to her.
Oh, that'd be great.
That it's like, what? How are you in Chicago right now?
Also, like the bit where who I don't know who greenlit this in universe, but there's like another like daddy daughter thing where they have a 3-legged sack race, but on ice skates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was dangerous.
No.
To describe this, dear listener, imagine, if you will, you're standing next to your partner in this 3-legged race. You're in ice skates, both of you, and then your right leg and their left leg are both shoved into a potato sack, and you have to skate your way across this sumbitch. Needless to say, the little girl tears her MCL and ACL, but she's fine in like 4 weeks, which sent me into an
Like a
apoplectic rage.
Wolverine level healing factor.
Like John Cena on all the HGH could not come back from a double tear like that as quickly as this little girl did. Like she's got a full fucking knee brace on, and then 2 weeks later she's just doing archery and walking around just fine.
Well, I don't know. They don't really specify like how long it's been.
I mean,
Time's kind of weird.
I mean, that is true,
Yeah.
but like because we're giving no rule like chronic cues, so it's just for like 2 days have passed and she's just like whipping, ready to go.
Yeah, she's already just up walking around. It's fine.
Because I mean, it's established through just cues that it's the same winter this whole time. Because like it starts with, I had a tremor. I'm going to, for Michael Caine's character, I had a tremor. I'm going to the doctor. He said I have cancer. I have another specialist appointment soon. And all that, her knee tears in the middle of all that. But then she's fine for New York for the specialist. Oh, I'm dying in 3 months. So it feels like the same winter.
Yeah, this wasn't really thought through.
Well, you kind of like think about like a life, kind of the life analogy thing, where it's just like sometimes when you get like one bad thing after the other, time just seems to like blur all together. Where you kind of have this like.
Yeah, but then they make the express point of saying at the end, spring comes and everything's better.
Yeah.
So it's a nitpick, but
Yeah.
as a wrestling fan who's seen many athletes go down with MCL and ACL tears, that's a 9 to 10 month recovery period minimum. Okay.
Yeah, well, it also helps that winter starts in Chicago about April and it lasts until the rest of the year.
Not anymore. It's global warming. There is no winter in Chicago.
No, the only place that still gets winter is Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, that
Just
checks.
Chicago.
Does it live in like a snow globe or something?
It's the same
possibly.
elsewhere so globe, but it's just Chicago.
So this movie's part of the St. Elsewhere verse too?
Technically, everything could be part of the same.
Or is that was that Stephen King show, The Dome, or was that
Under
Stephen
the
King
Dome.
show? Under the Dome? Was that Stephen King?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or am I making that up?
Yeah. No, you're thinking of Biodome with Pauly Shore.
No,
Which, from what I'm hearing, y'all ready for a fucking hot scoop?
Yeah, hot scoop.
Hot fucking scoop here. I don't know how this popped up in my fucking Facebook feed, but there might be a chance that we're seeing a sequel to Biodome.
like a legacy sequel to Biodome.
no, like Pauly Shore and Steve.
Steven's not going to do it. That's too unchristian for him.
but they'll be in space, so it'll be closer to God because apparently it's going to be on Mars
Lord.
or like space in general.
That
So,
I
you know.
hate all of the words you just said.
Man.
Every single one of them.
But it's actually just like a low key sequel to what was that? What was it? It's not Rocket Man, or is it Rocket Man?
What, the one where Harlan Williams goes to Mars?
Yes,
Yeah, that's Rocket Man.
but because it's separated
no
two
Disney
words.
movie.
Rocket Man is also the
No, this Rocket Man is one word.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
it's also the Elton John biopic.
Right.
Oh, I thought we were talking about like Ghost of Mars.
We don't talk about
How
John
does that
Carpenter's
keep
Ghost of
getting brought
Mars.
up?
Well, actually, we do. Actually, we talk about Ghost of Mars quite a lot.
Oh, really?
You know what? I've still never seen that piece of shit.
It's not his worst movie. That's either Vampires or The Ward.
Oh God, I haven't thought of vampires in forever.
You're welcome. It keeps getting brought up on this show.
You know,
Now I feel-
we'll have to put it to the wheel.
John Carpenter's bad movies get brought up more than my bad childhood
We
around
just
now.
like spin a wheel of bad John Carpenter horror movies.
Oh man, that. I don't know. They're not that many just outright terrible.
Yeah,
ones.
I don't know.
I mean, every
Really, it's
director.
just those three.
Yeah.
I mean, every director has some clunkers.
Because yeah, like Ward, Ghost of Mars. What do people like in Memoirs of an Invisible Man?
I enjoyed it.
I just fucked all that.
Wait,
up.
Memoirs of the Chevy Chase one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like that movie. Yeah.
Oh
That
man,
was
I
pretty
haven't
well
thought about that movie
received.
forever.
That was John Carpenter?
I think so.
Wow, I had no idea. I haven't seen that movie in years though, but I remember liking it.
There's a DVD triple pack for you. The Ward, Ghosts of Mars, Vampires.
Wow.
That would be in like the giant like Walmart like
Do you know what it
DVD
was?
crate.
It really?
Yeah, it was a John Carpenter movie.
I just always go back to The Fog. That's where I start at when I'm like, good John Carpenter film, The Fog. Because you don't know if everybody survives the end of that movie.
So, The Weatherman. When I brought up Baby Beast, Nicholas Holt, very young Nicholas Holt is in this movie.
yeah.
Very young baby beast.
Is this his first movie? Or
I'm gonna look it up.
It's probably his first like big movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he was doing stuff before this or not, but hell, I don't remember seeing him in shit, or at least paying attention until like I guess the X-Men
X-Men movie.
Yeah.
That was when I first.
He was in Warm Bodies, but
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
know if
in
that was
that too.
before. I don't know if that was before or after X-Men.
Mad Max Fury Road.
I think it was. I think that was.
Uh,
He was a young child in a movie called Intimate Relations, which also happened in The Weatherman.
I was about to say.
Then About a Boy in 2002, Wah Wah in 2005, and then The Weatherman.
Okay.
So this is
Damn,
the
he's been in the
breakout.
game for a minute then. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
That's a plot line.
Well, I mean, this was just 6 years before First Class.
Yeah.
So, and Warm Bodies was 2 years after First Class.
Okay.
Same year as Jack the Giant Slayer. That was a movie that happened.
Oh God.
You're
I feel like
welcome.
there were two Jack and the Beanstalk movies at a pretty close time together,
that
right?
keeps happening.
Yeah, like Volcano and Dante's Peak, the fucking James and the Giant Peach. What the fuck?
Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Clearly the better of the two. Sorry, Daniel Day.
I've read that book and then saw the movie.
What a horrible
Deep
double
Impact.
feature.
Fucking
Armageddon.
Aquaman and Sharknado 7.
Speaking of Aquaman and changing things, there's a lot of rumors going around about when and if and how they're going to introduce Namor to the MCU. Now, you know the heavy rumors are that
Not Huerta.
thank you, is going to be playing Namor in Black Panther 2. Well, there's a leak of an alleged idea of like what they're doing with Namor. It's not going to be Atlantis. It's going to be a sunken Aztec city. And so he's still going to be like Namor-y, but more Aztec related. That way they don't have to have two kings of Atlantis. And then everyone's going to be like, well, Marvel just copied DC, even though Namor was like a decade before Aquaman.
I mean, these are the same imaginary people who would be like, "Oh, they made a girl hole." I mean,
I'm waiting for that to happen, and I'm going to
She-Hulk
kill
I'm
was
it.
around
already
since
seeing
the
that
80s.
bullshit. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What is
And I'm
wrong
like-
with you people?
Like that shit's going to happen in my store, and somebody's going to have to bail me out because I'm going to stab a motherfucker.
So dumb.
Because I love She-Hulk. It's one of my favorite characters. It's one of the first books that I read all the way through, the John Byrne run of Sensational from the 80s. I've got the omnibus. Love that fucking book. first idiot comes like, can't believe they made a girl Hulk. Oh, they're getting stabbed.
Or you can just, or you can just quietly bottle up your feelings and just go shoot a bow and arrow in a snowy field somewhere.
Or just point it at him while they smoke a cigarette.
I have wanted to get into archery, but I have experienced stabbing, so I think I'm going to go with stabbing.
We're not going to do that. We're going to give you some suction cup bows and arrows, and we'll just have you play with that.
And then you're like gonna walk up to the store and see somebody walk out with like tons of suction cup arrows in their face, and you're gonna be like, you said something about She-Hulk, didn't you? They're
I'm
gonna
just
be
going
like,
with the stabbing.
no. Can we just give you one of those knives that like when the prop knives that like go in, that way you can feel the sensation of stabbing but not actually stab someone?
Yeah, so like Shimmy can get all out his homicidal urges, but they're just like Fisher Price toys.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a little like squeaky hammer and like a little squeaky water pistol.
Or a wiffle ball bat.
I was about to go to the wiffle ball because that makes such a great sound.
It does make a good sound.
Hey, Shimmy's gonna make national in his little league team.
So Nicolas Cage also kicks the shit out of somebody in The Weatherman.
I was gonna say we kind of dropped that plot line real
Should've
quick.
done
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
like
more.
we haven't really talked about that plot line. I guess
So-
here we go.
To sum up, Nicholas Hoult, playing Nicolas Cage's son, was arrested for marijuana and given a drug counselor who uncomfortably buys him a sweater, makes him dinner, takes pictures of him shirtless, and then apparently tries to suck his dick. At which point, Nicholas Hoult fights back, and then the dude is like, "You tried to steal my wallet." And so to get that fixed, what Nicolas Cage does is beats the fuck out of this guy.
Threw the camera in his face first.
Right.
Hell
Right
yeah,
in
he
the face.
lobbed that fucking
That was a
camera
good
at
hit.
him.
And then he like shoves the sweater in his face too, and then keeps beating the shit.
Which, like, one of the things we alluded to earlier, like, the choices that were made, incongruent plot lines with just like the tonality of it. And it's just like, of all the things they could have put in this movie, like, they could have excised that portion of the film and nothing would have been affected. It's just like, it's such a dark plot line of this movie that does not gel with the rest of this weird, like, awkward farce. And it's just like, you don't know why is it happening.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a like I've seen documentaries about. I like documentaries. Like just last night, I watched one about Jimmy Savile from England. That was a laugh riot. Let me tell you. So like even now, this sort of thing where kids are abused by people that they trust is only half the time taken seriously. It feels like even a short 15 years ago, it was just the sort of thing that that doesn't really happen. It's just a joke we make. Ha 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 ha. So I can see how it would have been treated a lot more flippantly than it would these days in that time frame. Because I mean, even in England, they didn't have a child abuse department in Scotland Yard until the late 90s. And even then, it was like 15 guys for all of England.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand that that's why it feels so detached and a little, like, flippant. Because, like, that's sort of the era of the movie, which, like, that's to be expected. But it feels so jarring.
Yeah, no, that's very jarring. That's when I thought one of us was going to just squeeze into a tiny ball and blink out of existence from the cringe. But at the same time, that did lead to Michael Caine saying that he was proud of Nicolas Cage for standing up for his kids.
You know what, son? I'm really proud of you. You've been wanting me to hear me say that your whole life, and you beat up that predator.
Yeah, you beat a pedophile. Good job.
He's like,
Good
what
show.
is it with this chucking and sucking? What is happening?
It's
What?
like, Dad, shut the fuck up.
Do you not know how words work, Dad? You wrote a fucking book. Jesus.
And the thing is like, I think the scene with Nicholas Hoult and the predator, the pedophile guy, I think it goes on for way too long. It's just like to the point where I'm just like, I need a shower. This is gross. And then it cuts to Nicolas Cage in New York with his dad and his daughter, and Nicolas Cage is like, what the fuck is with this sucking and chucking? To a situation that is just so like fucking dark and fucked up. But like you said, like I could see where you're coming from, where you're talking about how it was not as taken seriously, and I think that's why, like, part of the reason I said earlier, like this, like after like 2010, I don't think you can make this movie again, at least in its current form.
Yeah. Also, I just want you to know that when you said Nicholas Hoult and the Predator are in the apartment, my mind immediately flashed to the Predator with the mask and the Schwarzenegger and the noises and
come on, shoot me, do it, kill me now.
Which I think would have made a much more interesting movie, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
John,
same
It'd be
movie.
more exciting.
Same movie, just
have Beast versus Predator.
No. The whole movie's the same. You just take out weird goateed pedophile and put in a Predator. Still serving salad, still taking pictures.
No,
7 foot tall alien.
that makes that same buying the sweater even funnier because you don't know what it's saying. Because it's just like he's holding the sweater, I'm just like, and you're like,
Clicking noises.
huh? Oh yeah, no, I think it looks good. And then it like just holds up cash. And you're like, and like there's like a bloody hand to a wallet. It's like you get like the subtitles at the bottom. It's like the translation of the Predator being like, no, I got this.
Mad discount, bro.
Yeah, that was such a weird line.
Such a weird, unpleasant line.
That every line that guy delivered was I mean in the context of you think about it, it's meant to make you feel uncomfortable.
He was very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
and that's
I don't like it one
that's
bit.
why I said, like, it's good at evoking a feeling. It's intended feeling. I'll say that.
Like from the very first scene where they're in a mall or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he buys him the sweater.
And
we all-
like, nope, no,
like we all turn
No.
to each other, and,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like Pat was saying, kind of out of place because the rest of the movie doesn't go the options you would think it would go.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Like you would think for something that's such a big, like, scary thing for your child to be like this person is supposed to be helping them and they're preying on them. It's like the C or D plot.
I mean,
yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, for a while there, I at least thought the movie was gonna go in the direction where he just killed that motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
he
legit.
just shoots him in the head with an arrow.
Yeah, but he just like gave him a couple of good smacks around, but he just fucks off after that, and everything's hunky and dory, I suppose.
I mean, if it gets the point across,
They got his son out of trouble, I guess.
Like I'm trying.
It's a terrible situation, but
I looked this dude up, and I'm trying to find other stuff that he's in that we would know.
I've seen him in like TV stuff.
He's been in so much fucking TV.
Yeah, a lot of TV bits.
So much TV.
And I don't know why, and I hate this plot point because it reminded me of, oh God, I can't believe I saw this movie. Has anyone ever heard of this fucking film called The Woodsman
Yes.
Yeah.
with Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
It is a movie about a guy who is a registered sex offender because he molested a 12-year-old girl.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
And the movie is just about him having a life.
It's like, did we really need this?
And I'm just like,
Who greenlit that?
and this movie made me think of that movie, and I was just like, oh my God, I was young as fuck when I saw that, and I'm just like, wow. Like, that was gross, and that was a movie that was made.
Yeah, I'm just like, there's just some stories that I just don't think need to be told, and that's one of them. I'm just like, no.
It's kind of strange too. 'Cause you think about like the son, like his character with like everything that's going on is like this like serious. He feels like the most disconnected member of the family though.
Like he feels so vestigial compared to like
we don't see
everything.
the mom interact with him like
at all, like except in like wide shots.
Yeah, because like Pat said earlier, like, I honestly feel like you could have just cut this whole fucking like storyline out and it would have been fine. And all this bad shit's like happening to Nick Cage's character the whole time. But again, like, having it like blend into like this scenario happening with his son. It was just that was definitely the part I was like, nah.
Well, around
I
this
ain't
time,
about
there was
it.
a lot of stuff with that subject matter. Movies coming out. There
Yeah.
was Little Children with Jackie Earl Haley.
Doubt was probably not that far.
That was a
much
little
later.
after. Hard Candy
Oh,
was similar. That was much different film.
Yeah, like just glut of movies. It's like, you know what, we need to talk about this weird predation thing. Like,
Yeah. It was. What was that one movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
and
And Meryl Streep.
that was Doubt.
That was Doubt.
No. It was a different one. It
A
was
different movie where Philip Seymour
Patch Adams
Happiness. I think it's got.
Twister.
with Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Twister. With Helen Hunt.
I thought that was The Master, and it also has Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No, The Master. That's the
Tell you
Scientology
what,
movie.
While you look it up, we're going to take a quick break because we're coming up to the end of our regular recording time. So we will be right back with more fun, I guess. Maybe something lighter in terms of quality. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey there, folks. Do you like mugs, t-shirts, phone cases, stickers, wall art, pillows, all sorts of fun things with fun logos? Well, if you do, head on down to tpublic.com/user/CagingGreatness for all sorts of great merchandise and support your local creators. That's us. Hooray!
Yippee-i-oh.
Yeah,
Everybody was nice. The party was bumping.
I need a yippee-i-oh.
We're white.
God damn it.
Are we recording? Yes. Yes.
Hey, if you like the tonal shifts in the weather, this show is the perfect companion.
Yeah, y'all remember when we were talking about fucking child sexual abuse in the first half of the show?
Fucking Baja Man.
You know what's terrible? Pedophilia. Yippee-i-oh.
like, there was a guy I worked with that gave me a CD one time that just said white people love this, and that was on there, and Apache was on there.
I mean, that's not wrong.
Oh man. So Nick.
We just go from like one of the worst like horrible things that can ever happen to a person to
Who let the dog?
a song that only gets played at elementary school sock hops.
So we went from a terrible, horrible blight on humanity to another terrible, horrible blight on humanity.
There was a dog in the movie. There was the guy walking the dog when the whole family was having the FU contest.
And he was just
Yeah.
gawking at them.
And then the daughter walked the dog.
Frick you. Frick you and your nipper.
Do you know what the whole like the new dad of the house, like the Russ subplot reminded me of? Fucking Click with Adam Sandler. Oh. When Sean Astin is the stepdad.
Wow.
I have a random piece of
forgot
trivia
he was
about
in that
Click.
movie. Holy shit.
What's your click trivia?
It wasn't originally called Click. I remember being in theaters and the movie and the trailer for that movie came out, and it was actually originally called Universal Remote.
I always heard that was like the working title. I never saw like it in like, I believe you, but like, yeah. I mean, that either word worked.
It just needed a simpler, more asinine title.
I mean, rather that than what fucking Edge of Tomorrow had, where it's like, hey, we're going to change the name while it's in theaters and then also before it goes to DVD.
Live, die,
But
repeat.
still, both like titles were on the fucking like box. It's
Yeah,
weird.
just fucking pick one. Or like make it a subtitle from the beginning. Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. But like,
I
they
feel
went
like that
one
would be
both.
just like the catchphrase for the movie.
Missed a golden opportunity to rake in all the fucking dough, make it a trilogy. Call the first one Live, call the second one Die, call the last one Repeat.
I mean, I think they've been trying to make a sequel to that for a while.
That movie's actually not bad.
I'd watch the shit. I
That
love
movie's
it.
good.
It's a
It's pretty
solid
good.
movie, and the manga it's based off of is real good too. Well, actually, the
Bless you.
manga it was based off a visual novel, but down the line.
Yeah.
I'll have to add that to my watch list. I haven't seen it yet.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
quite
never
good.
seen it
Okay.
either.
Oh man, it's pretty good.
Emily Blunt, if I remember correctly, she turned down Black Widow. She was up for Black Widow and she chose to do that one instead.
okay. I just knew I was like, it's a time loop movie.
Action Groundhog Day.
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, the Baja Men.
All right, I got a bone to pick, like right out the gate. This motherfucker at the beginning of the movie, right? All right, Nicolas Cage. He gets recognized in Chicago. Obviously, he's the fucking weatherman, right? He's in line. And he's just like, hey, man, you're the guy. And he goes, no, I'm not the guy. This snooty motherfucker starts looking at his paperwork. And then just like, you didn't have to be an asshole. It's like, what?
Repeats several times, like, you're on TV.
Yeah. It's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know you. Like, what the fuck?
It just basically like this dude felt entitled to like, well, this guy's on TV. That means I can, accost him at the fucking DMV for like an autograph.
Like, this is the same sort of asshole that would show up to the airport at 4 a.m. to get wrestlers to sign their action figures.
Yeah. Because like, the whole time I was thinking like how apropos that it is to wrestling. So like, but I can also hear like fucking Bully Ray on Twitter just like, hey man, you gotta appreciate them 4 a.m. autographs because one of these days they may not be there. Like, fuck you, dude. You're
gotta get that heat, brother.
Just because like you are on television or in entertainment, your life is not on call 24/7 for people and looky-loos. Like, you have a right to privacy, and just because you're entertainment, that doesn't mean that you're excluded. Like, fuck you, time and a place.
Yeah.
And like, because it was interesting, like, this in another scene kind of bookend the movie where you have this interaction at the beginning, and then at the end of the movie, there's a scene where he's like, someone comes up to him when they're shooting the art. My brain is mush. I apologize.
He was in Central Park, like shooting
shooting the bow, and he's like, hey man, can I get your autograph? And I think the movie was like trying to condemn Nicolas Cage for his reaction in the first scene. I'm like, no, he's 100% justified. That dude was a douche canoe.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily trying to condemn, because it happened in the middle twice. So I was like, hey, what's the blah, 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 blah. He's like, man, just fucking time, blah, blah. Well, you don't have to be an asshole.
Yeah, they literally blah, 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 blah. There weren't any actual words exchanged.
And then at the end, it's like, hey, get an autograph? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll give you an autograph. And the dude's like, what, is it going to rain today? And Cage says, who knows? And then just walks off. So it didn't condemn his earlier outbursts, but it showed him more at peace with morons.
Yeah.
He was also
or just more at peace with himself and I guess his place in the grand cosmos.
At the end, he's on like a national television at this point instead of like just in Chicago too. Like, so more of the world.
The Brian Gumbel Show.
Yeah.
Hello, America.
I think that's the first thing I said in the movie when I was like, oh shit, it's actually Brian Gumbel.
It's like making like 4 times what he was making in Chicago.
Over $1 million.
Jesus.
Had a Purina deal.
Man.
Yeah. It's like, give me some money, brother.
I'd like a $40,000 a year Purina deal. I'll shill dog food. You hear that, Purina? We at Cajun Greatness will be thrilled.
I love that bit. They're like, you don't have a dog. They're like,
hey, we have 2 dogs here.
The whole time I was like, Michael Caine, why are you trying to fuck up your kid's career like that? Purina deal for dog food.
Because
Michael you don't have a dog.
Does not exist on this fucking plane of reality. It's like the whole time it's just like you're like a gray, just like unzip and just like the eyes blink sideways.
Or I mean, honestly, motherfucker is acting like Data from Star Trek, except Data has a little more personality.
Like, I feel like Data wouldn't have said half the shit that Michael Caine did.
Yeah.
He would have had restraint.
Or it's like an early version of Data who's still kind of like learning everything.
Was that before or after he thought that one lady was a cake and he stabbed her?
Also, what I forget, what did Michael Caine's character, what did he have again in this movie?
Lymphoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a degenerative neurological disease. It was fucking lymphoma.
According to everything in the film, his brain is supposedly fine.
Tip-top mint condition.
What's his big gulp?
Maybe he wasn't just a spacey old fuck. Maybe he was just a chronic asshole.
Because there were times where it kind of made me wonder if the movie's like trying to make me think he's an asshole. But he does come off kind of dumb though.
And at no point does Nicolas Cage like get mad at his father for the way he acts. He's like, no, I have a great dad. Love my dad. I was like, cause like every time, like he's like, no, I love my dad. My dad's great. My dad's my hero. And the whole time, I was like, your dad's a prick.
Yeah, his dad's just like it almost seems intentionally just undermining him the entire time and asking all these like probing questions. I kind of got triggered because that's how my dad talks. So I'm just like, get the fuck away from me.
But I mean, again, that's bleeds into the based on real life feeling that this movie is, because so many people have terrible, terrible parents that they still love and want the love and respect of. So, yeah, Michael Caine kind of sucked.
Well, there was like
as a character.
Well, he asked him twice to go get him something, and he all he had was $1 in his wallet because he kept giving money to his daughter to go buy cigarettes.
That did keep happening.
Yeah, because he was like, "Go get me a paper," and he goes into.
She has a 2-pack a day habit.
Golden missed opportunity for her to be a camel smoker.
Nah, she was too highbrow. No,
She just comes back with a cigar.
yeah, like, honey, how much did that cost you? $45.
She's got like one of those like fucking
Corella DeVille.
Yeah, Corella DeVille.
I always called it the Corella DeVille stick.
Like every time it's different. One time she's got the Corella DeVille cigarette holder. Another time she comes back with the Groucho Marx cigar. Another time she comes back with a fucking Sherlock Holmes pipe.
It's like
the Cheech and Chong mega blunt.
Did we ever see him interact with his mom or like bring up his mom? Because like I think we saw her at the funeral.
No,
They were in a
sort of
car
there.
one time.
Yeah, they never actually spoke to each other.
Also, what the fuck is a living funeral?
That's a real thing that happened.
What is that shit about?
That's the first time.
What?
That's the first time I've ever heard of that concept,
So
and I was kind of weirded out too.
Dear listeners, if you're confused what a living funeral is, that's where you gather all your friends and family in the event of your or a loved one's death for essentially the talking part of a funeral, so that the person who is going to die very soon can hear all the nice things that people will say about them. It's strange, it's off-putting, it's self-centered, and stop doing it.
Just roast me. Like, if y'all find out I'm gonna die soon, just like I'll be like, all right, we're all getting together, we're getting drunk, and y'all are gonna roast me.
I mean, that was
If you want to tell the people you love how much they mean to you, just fucking do it. Don't wait for them to be nearly dead.
Yeah.
And if they are dying and you want to tell them, maybe do it in private, where they can realize that it actually means something, and as opposed to performing for a room full of their family and friends.
I mean, because there was a
Or
moment-
just make it not as like weirdly somber. Like, hey, I'm about off this ride, bitch. Let's have a party. Like, come on, jizz it up.
Yeah, like the whole thing is shot like it's very dimly lit, and it's just kind of, you got the fucking like Hans Zimmer just solo piano score in the background, like probably in C minor, and it's just like really sad. But then Nicolas Cage is like, yeah, my dad's like that Bob Seger song, Like a Rock.
Power goes out.
It was awkward.
Much like the entirety of the movie, it was on track for the rest of it. That part was like congruent with the rest of its pieces.
Well, when Nick Cage, when he said like his inner monologue said like living funeral, I thought that that was some sort of fucking joke or something, but no, it was a thing, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that no, I don't like that.
It's really unpleasant and off-putting.
It's like, hey, it's the most fucked up roast you've ever been to in your life, especially if they get cremated. Jesus Christ.
And you know what? This guy, I love this guy that we came here to honor tonight. You know what? He's never lost a fight in his life, except this one to cancer. Am I right?
It's EPIO.
Everyone starts doing the cha-cha slide.
3 hops. Oh, no, not you back there. Your ankle's broken.
What are you two doing in a sack? Why are you wearing ice skates?
I tore my ACL doing the cha-cha slide.
God, it honestly is like the thing that like fucking rich white people come up with, this try to sell to everyone else. Just like, it's like, hey, here's this thing you should spend an obscene amount of money on.
I take it back. I take it back. I will agree to a living funeral under one condition.
Okay.
I get to sit in a fucking glass coffin and stare at everybody the whole time.
Like it's propped up.
Yes. And I'm just like a vampire. It's just like,
Your fucking ass like Nosferatu, just being like.
Well, the whole time I kept thinking about this happened in Futurama, where Bender felt bad about everything. He's like, no, I want to have a funeral now so everyone can tell me how great I am. And he's laying in the coffin, heckling the people talking about, like, is that the best you got? And like, that's it's a fucking Futurama joke that white people have made a real thing. And I hate it.
It's just like most Futurama things.
That's accurate. There's more Futurama coming soon, though.
Yes.
And they got DiMaggio back.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I've watched that show way too much.
I'm not shit talking, but how many times has that show got canceled now?
Like 7.
Jesus fucking Christ!
But then, like, it's like purposely ended as many times, but just like, hey, you know, it's okay for things to end, but just like, no, be damned.
Props on them for making the jokes though about every time they get canceled and brought back though.
Oh yeah, they never be like, this was always meant to happen. Like, no, we got canceled, but they threw more money at us.
I mean, damn.
But it was good every time it came back. So it's not like Scrubs season 9 or anything.
I only watched a handful of episodes, but it's good. I just never really just watched it a lot.
I love Scrubs, the first 8 seasons.
Oh, I meant Futurama.
Futurama.
I mean, I've seen a few. I mean, both.
Yeah.
Futurama is still one of those shows that I can just cut on and occasionally just look over and be like, oh no, it's that episode. Got to sit down for a minute, get the box of tissues.
It's a dog, isn't it?
That one and the one where Fry says bye to his mom.
That one
wrecked
my ass.
Yeah, that one's rough.
That one hurt.
And the one where the one about his brother's good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that show. That show's fantastic.
They're both fantastic shows at being hilarious, and then they rip your heart out, and then they're funny again.
Yeah.
So, The Weatherman, in summation, it's weird. It's off-putting. It's awkward. It's cringy. It's well acted.
Well shot.
It's realistic, but also absurd. And to me, at least, I thought it was pretty damn good.
You know what? Same.
What is it that Michael Caine said? It was an American achievement?
Yeah, an American achievement.
Yeah. I'm still going to stand by the fact that I think this movie is very much like this is the American dream in 2005. It's messy, and it makes you sad and feel weird sometimes, but man, you wake up the next day and...
Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just figured out some buffoonery in Michael Caine's movie logic.
What's that?
There ain't no way he was in the last page of that script.
Oh, well, that interview was like 30 years before this.
Yeah, how dare he not think about what he would say 30 years in the future?
I'm just saying.
Hypocrite.
If you've never read his biography, you should give it a read. It's quite fun.
He's on the first and last page of that, for sure.
And the front cover. And the back cover.
But not in the middle there.
And every page for the most
also,
part.
everyone, and please show Jeremy, but I sent a picture of the photo that they used for Michael Caine in this movie on Letterboxd on the Facebook message.
It's a very handsome picture.
I was just like,
Definitely
what the fuck? Who are you?
1965 Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He just like crawled out of the Lazarus pit in that one.
I was just like, man, Bruce Wayne wasn't even around.
But yeah, I like the movie. We all generally like. Jojo, did you were raising your score a little bit?
I think so. Probably rating it to 3.
No, there you go.
Nice.
Hey, I don't think anyone regretted their time tonight.
I was saying, I guess I was just in the right kind of mood for this one. It just hit right, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I mean,
not every bit of it.
No,
but
no,
you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty like
as a whole
solid movie. Like
weirdly inspirational.
Yeah. I was like, wow. Like, I'd heard about it. Yeah. I didn't know exactly what like, legit, what I remember from seeing the trailers back in the day is just him getting hit with shit and him carrying a bow around.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, well, okay. Interesting to see how we got there, I suppose.
I remember seeing the poster and just being like, why does Nicolas Cage have a bow and arrow and this is called The Weatherman?
Bow and arrow on his shoulder covered in a milkshake.
Yeah.
Which turns out was a Frosty.
When I was a kid, I'd get this and the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man confused.
Wildly different films.
So like when Wicker Man came on TV, I'm like, why does he not have the fucking bow and arrow?
They probably would have had a easier time in a movie had a bow and arrow.
Yeah, I feel like that would have helped tremendously.
Can you imagine him like shooting someone with the bow?
Oh, there's only so many arrows.
Wasn't Matchstick Men around this time too?
Yeah, there's a lot of like 2003 to 2008 Cage movies.
Yeah, there's just kind of like people in strange situations and all.
People in strange situations make for some damn good movies, though.
Yes, they do. But I think that about wraps us up for the evening. thank you all for listening. Thank you, Jeremy, for joining us.
Thank you,
Yeah, my
Jeremy.
milk's
Yeah.
probably spoiled by now. So
that-
I said my milk that I bought's probably spoiled by now.
Probably so. Yeah. Well, I mean, you should have dropped it off before we kidnapped you to be on the show.
Well, look, I was like, next time I see a sign in the front yard that says "Free Food Nicolas Cage," I'll know that Nicolas Cage isn't here and the food isn't. Free.
Look,
If you would get organic milk, it lasts longer.
Look, I know we kidnapped you, but we do have a refrigerator.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Fun. It was fun. Look, I can
had
be
access
kidnapped
to the whole
again.
time.
I think your milk has turned into tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Not the fucking tartar sauce.
Wait, so I did bring the tartar sauce. Yes.
Yeah, but you forgot the milk.
Hey, they're
back in
both
my
white.
house
It'd be
now.
fine.
Same thing, you know.
So
I always like a little bit of tartar sauce in my Cheerios in the morning. What are you talking about?
Thank y'all for having me. This is fun.
it's a
Anytime.
good time. So, Jojo, where can the people find you on the internet?
The minute you ask me, I'm start fucking yawning.
Yeah, I
My name
waited.
is JoJo. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIOBOI24 and John Owenson 12 on Letterboxd.
Wasn't even staring at you that time.
Hey, we're bringing it back.
And I've been that kind of guy. You can find me at that kind of guy on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Goodreads, and TikTok.
Jeremy, where can the people find you?
I'm on Instagram under Toons Cosmic Reality, and
That's TUNES.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it under _Mighty Bearcat.
Cool.
And you have a letterbox as well.
Yeah, and I think it's Backwards Hero.
Backwards Hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put some of that information up on the social medias.
Yeah, we'll be sure to plug all your stuff and including your art.
Oh, wait, yes.
You're going to get so many follows. It's gonna
So
be
many,
great.
like we got people in fucking Dublin. We had a bunch of views out of or listens out of London last week. We got an FBI agent in Washington who fucking loves us.
Sweet.
Tappahannock, Virginia is going to have your back from now on.
Awesome. I don't know where that's at in Virginia, but
Russia,
I'm sure I
there
can
are
find
several
it.
Russians who dig us.
That's good.
Hopefully, the good Russian.
So you're penetrating the iron wall.
Good Russians, hello. Bad Russians, log off.
That's right.
Oh,
we
and-
stand with Ukraine on this show.
I also do like Twitch streaming occasionally. It's also Backwards Hero for people watching me play like Blood Bowl or like other weird stuff.
Awesome. Pat, what you got? Where are you on the internet? What's going on
you
with
can
Ock
find
this
me
week?
Wherever you can see a John Lawson's name online, that's me. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you're listening to the week it comes out. That means on Monday, May 23rd, we release episode 264 of the All Good Hair Podcast, where we play The Impression That I Get 2.5, where the AYCH crew, which is mostly the Cajun Greatness crew with a couple other people.
It was a great game. You can hear me do my Michael and Caine impression on there.
It's great.
Damn.
Letterboxd game. It's part of the All You Can Hear's 5th anniversary, which is continuing this coming week with, what is it, the French fry taste test, I think?
Yes, with the grand finale of the 5th anniversary episode is the French fry taste.
Are you okay, Pat?
And hopefully Pat will be alive for this.
I'm concerned.
Good night.
Patty's on the floor. Fuck.
Quick!
You can also check out the link trees that we've provided on the Cajun Greatness social medias to find all the All You Can Hear stuff. Be sure to listen to the show this past Monday. The impression game was a good time. I'm not going to spoil it and tell you who wins. I'm just going to tell you I was pretty happy at the end of the day. So, yeah, go listen to it. A lot of fun impressions, a lot of terrible impressions, but that's part of the fun. And I have been Captain Shimmy. You can call me Justin, but everybody calls me Shimmy now. So this is the thing that I've leaned into. You can find me at Captain Shimmy's Kind of Art, Captain Shimmy's Almost Music, Captain Shimmy's Toy Box. You can find me here in Tuscaloosa at the comic strip. If you want to make the trek from Tappahannock or Washington or Russia or Dublin or London, please feel free. And yeah. This coming Saturday, if you're local, one of our good friends, a guy named J.R. Mounts, is going to be at the shop selling his new stuff. He's rebranded. He used to be Scary Tales Noir. Now he's wickedly. It's brand new. It's WTF. That's the initials. It's hilarious. WTF. Wickedly something fun. He'll be here next week as our special guest to tell you all about that. And we're going to be talking about one of our most anticipated Cage films, The Rock.
Like The Rock. With Sean Connery. Like The Rock.
So we're going to have a good time with that one. Also, we have a merch store. You can check it out at tpublic.com/user/caging greatness. Next week's JR. The week after that, we've got something pretty special cooking. I don't want to say anything that might jinx it because we got a lot of kinks to work out and a lot of kinks to work out. You know what I'm saying? But I think we've got some cool stuff on the horizon. So thank you all for listening, and please continue to listen. And maybe leave us a review or a comment to let us know you're there and that we're not just talking into the wind. Which just does whatever it wants, apparently, according to the art of meteorology.
How do you think we ended up in Tappahannock? The wind just blew us there.
Maybe local resident, according to Wikipedia, Chris Brown, just likes the show and told everybody. Wikipedia says Chris Brown lives in Tappahannock. I don't know how that accurate that is, but this is what Wikipedia says. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Good night, Babs.
Good night, Babs.
How absurd.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.